The US reveals desperation in the Iran war after using up its entire stock of new, untested precision missiles in intense combat. US missile shortage combined with blockade failure explains why Trump now insists the war will end very soon.
I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon. It was perfect. I mean, it's perfect.
Trump declares war to end soon, yet US still dispatches 10,000 reinforcements urgently to the Middle East theater. Trump attempts to confuse Iran strategically amid swirling rumors of potential ground invasion preparations. A fresh controversy has erupted over America's use of untested weaponry during the Iran war, with reports focusing on a newly introduced missile system deployed early in the conflict. The US is reported to have deployed the Precision Strike Missile, or PrSM, despite incomplete combat testing, according to an RT report citing military sources and open-source analysis. A US Army official told RT that frontline forces rapidly exhausted their PrSM stockpile shortly after the war began, indicating heavy reliance on the weapon from the outset. The long-range Precision Strike Missile, made by Lockheed Martin, is designed to replace the aging ATACMS rocket system and provide deeper strike capability from land-based launchers. This suggests that the missile was used extensively in combat before completing a full end-to-end testing and validation cycle, raising questions about its readiness for the battlefield. Serious questions have emerged as the PrSM is reported to have only recently exited its prototype or development phase, meaning it may not yet have been fully matured as an operational system. If accurate, this implies the missile was fielded and launched against Iranian targets before undergoing comprehensive real-world combat validation, which is unusual for major new munitions. Concerns intensified after the New York Times claimed the PrSM was used in a deadly strike on the southern Iranian town of Lamerd, which has become a focal point for scrutiny. The missile is reported to have hit a sports hall and an adjacent school, killing around 20 people, according to Iranian authorities and independent casualty assessments. While weapons experts have pointed to visual and technical evidence consistent with the use of a PrSM in that strike, there is still no official confirmation, and uncertainty remains. Analysts say it is difficult to determine whether any failure in that strike was due to a design flaw in the missile, a targeting error, or faulty intelligence rather than a single technical fault. The Pentagon has strongly denied direct US responsibility for the Lamerd incident, insisting that American forces do not intentionally target civilian sites. Instead, US officials have suggested that the munition seen in strike footage resembles Iran's domestically produced Hovers air cruise missile, a claim that has been widely disputed by independent weapons analysts. This debate over the use of an untested missile has come as President Trump, on April 16, said the Iran war was going swimmingly and should end soon, underscoring the gap between official optimism and battlefield scrutiny.
I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon. It was perfect. I mean, it's perfect. It was the power we have, our military. We have the most powerful military anywhere in the world. I built it 4 years, my first 4 years. We had the best economy in the history of our country in my first term, and we're blowing it out now. We're blowing it away now. And despite our little diversion to the lovely country of Iran, lovely place, but we had to do that because otherwise bad things could happen, really bad things. So we've sent out, and I think you're going to see some incredible results, for those people that question it. You're going to see some, the job we've done has been amazing. The ships are out there today, and they're saying, don't come here, don't even think about it. And you have these massive tankers saying, let's get the hell out of here. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Amid Iran's claim that hundreds of US troops have resigned over the war, fresh reports are emerging of a large-scale military reinforcement into the Middle East instead. The United States is expected to deploy thousands of additional troops to the Middle East in the coming days, according to a Washington Post report on the buildup. This deployment signals a sharp escalation in US military posture just before the fragile US-Iran ceasefire is due to expire on April 22. Officials told the Washington Post that the new movement will include roughly 10,000 soldiers arriving by the end of April, boosting the regional force level. The majority of this force is said to be aboard the aircraft carrier USS George H.W. Bush, which is currently en route to the Middle East. That carrier group alone carries approximately 6,000 personnel, which will significantly bolster U.S. naval strength once it reaches operating zones near Iran. Another major addition is the Boxer Amphibious Ready Group, which is scheduled to arrive by the end of April with about 4,200 troops. This group includes more than 800 Marines along with helicopters and landing craft designed for rapid deployment near coastal areas and islands. Once these reinforcements arrive, the U.S. will have 3 carrier strike groups operating around the region at the same time. These include the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Gerald R. Ford, both of which are already involved in the broader military campaign. The expanded military presence is reportedly tied to President Trump's maritime blockade imposed on Iranian shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. At the same time, officials say the White House is also preparing detailed contingency plans in case diplomacy with Tehran collapses. According to the Washington Post, these plans include potential limited ground operations using special forces units inside Iranian territory. Such scenarios are said to focus on securing Iran's existing uranium stockpiles and conducting landings on key islands near the Strait of Hormuz rather than a full-scale invasion. IRGC intelligence said on April 14th that frustration and hopelessness are spreading among U.S. troops in the region, presenting the claim as a sign that repeated Iranian attacks have taken a psychological toll on American forces. The IRGC attributed that alleged drop in morale to Iran's repeated missile and drone strikes on U.S. military bases across the Gulf, arguing that the sustained attacks have disrupted both confidence and battlefield readiness. Iran International reported that the IRGC made this revelation on the basis of what it described as assessments and field data, giving the claim the appearance of an intelligence-backed internal reading of U.S. conditions. Iran's IRGC intelligence said, and I quote, "Despair and frustration are taking a heavy toll on U.S. forces in the region. Intelligence assessments and some field reports on the condition of U.S. forces in the region suggest that a deep and significant sense of frustration and hopelessness has set in among them. According to these reports, several factors are driving that mood: the repeated and effective strikes by Iranian missiles and drones on military bases, officials in Washington brushing aside field reports and on-the-ground data, constant redeployments, living under unstable conditions, and repeated changes in plans ordered by the President and the Defense Secretary. In just the first month of the war, around 734 resignation or discharge requests were reportedly submitted from bases in 3 Persian Gulf countries. Field assessments indicate that the situation appears to be much the same in other countries across the region. These departures span every level, from senior commanders to the lowest ranks. At the same time, senior military commanders say that under orders from the Defense Secretary, the loss of soldiers is not considered a red line. What matters most is preventing commanders and troops from being taken captive." Unquote.